Hi, I'm Nate, and this is The Hidden Race, where we have honest conversations about the good, the bad, and all the hidden moments that make up a runner's journey. Today, we'll look at the story of Whitefish Bay High School incoming sophomore Karstin McCabe. We'll go through her year, going from early success, her injury, and how she recovered from that to crush the rest of her freshman cross country and track season. Enjoy. Why do you run?
Good question. I run because I really love how it pushes myself mentally and physically, and it allows you to kind of have like an outlet to everything else. And I think there's something so cool about just like, I find joy in like the last lap of the 2 mile when everything hurts, everything's telling you to stop, but you just got to keep going and, pushing the boundaries. I run so I can show, other people that like, this is possible. This is, something that you can do as well. Like little runners, little kids. Cause I think running isn't something that is really, it's not like basketball that like everyone does. It's kind of a little bit more on the not as popular sport.
You've gone through so much in your career so early on. It's like you've experienced just stuff that people don't even experience there in college. And you're, 15?
Yeah, 15.
So you've gone through an injury. You've gone to 2 national meets. You've won state. You've then placed third at state, and then you won, and then you placed second at indoor. That's kind of nuts.
I have like so many friendships on the team, and I'm so close with everyone, and they have taught me so much. Like I feel like I came into it. I started running really not very long ago, and they kind of taught me the ropes and everything, and then I started seeing success, and it was really cool. I was always really competitive as a kid. I played basketball all throughout like middle school. I played on like a EYBL team, so we would travel all over. And then in 8th grade, I did 8th grade track, and I had a coach who was also my basketball coach at the time, but he really believed in me, and he started writing me up workouts, and I kind of he saw like the potential that I really didn't know I had. And then I took that track season pretty seriously and really realized like what I could do. And I was kind of like, oh, this is like an amazing talent and something that God has given me. So I can just try to exploit that as much as I can.
So I actually didn't know your coach was your basketball coach. So
he was,
what did your basketball bring look like?
So I started playing basketball when I was really young. That was definitely my favorite sport when all throughout elementary, middle school. And I succeeded in that as well. I really liked the team aspect of it. And as I said, my high school track coach was my coach, I want to say since 3rd grade, all throughout like the little high school, program. And then I didn't actually end up doing high school basketball. I just fully into running now. So it's definitely a change.
Yeah, I'm gonna whip out a Starburst real quick. Are you a big fan of pink Starburst? Pink
Starburst are the best.
You like pink too, really?
Well, yeah. Do you like pink?
Yeah, I literally bought a canister of all pink. It's the best flavor at Target. So when you were playing basketball, you kind of are immersed in that culture of being just on a team. So what did you kind of learn when you were younger about like, what is it like being on a team? Like what are the sacrifices you have to make for your teammates, stuff like that?
For sure. I think like a team aspect is super big. And I think one of the biggest things is just like the friendships that you make on the team. And it's like, I'm not doing this for my own good, but I'm doing this for the good of the whole team. And even in basketball, that's kind of even bigger of a thing. And just really learning how to communicate with each other, work together. And, when one person sees success, everyone sees success. And you just kind of have to work with all of them.
Yeah. And you mentioned your coach was it 3rd grade? And now does he still coach you now or not anymore?
He doesn't. So I don't play basketball anymore, but he still coaches me through like track. He's my track and cross country coach.
Okay. So he's your track and cross country coach. So what is, when you have that built up relationship with your coach, like how does coming into track and cross country in that community, how is that helped by you're already having, being familiar with your coach that you've worked
for sure. I think we both know a lot about each other, and he kind of knows, all about me and all about like what I like to do, what I don't like to do. And he, like I said, kind of saw like the potential in me since I was, since I was younger. He traveled to Nike Cross Nationals with me out to Oregon. He's great at just knowing what to say in the moment and knowing what to do. And he just is very knowledgeable about the sport as a whole.
Yeah. And this might play into like what this next question is, but when you started that running era, like who did you look up to when you first started?
For sure. I would say when I first started, my mom has run marathons. So she was definitely, when I was a little kid, I always saw running as like a good thing. Like I always like saw older people in my life who were like role models in my life were doing it. So it was never like a negative connotation at all. And then I would definitely say my mom was a big one. I would probably say, my mom. And I feel like a lot of people in my family run just kind of recreationally. So I look up to them as well.
Yeah. So for your first season of track, run up to state, what did that look like for you? And like, what did you like about running track, I guess?
For sure. It was awesome. So actually I had another coach. I was super new into everything. Like I was like the lost puppy dog. I didn't know what I was doing. But I had another coach and I didn't even know like the middle school track state was a thing. And she was like, hey, like she was the one who got me into NXN, but she was like, hey, like, would you want to go to this? And I was like, yeah, of course. And I think I was like coming back from like a basketball tournament. So it was very much like a kind of last minute, like just let's go to this. Let's have some fun. But, I think I don't remember what I exactly ended up running there, but it was a really, really fun meet. And it was definitely the biggest meet. And it like kind of sparked like a fire in me where it's like, oh, this is like the biggest meet I've seen so far. Like, this is so cool. All the crowds, all the people there, like it was super, super cool and a good, like kind of first, jump into it.
So after state, you went to nationals.
Mm-hmm.
So what did that process look like? How'd you know you were going to that?
So I knew I had a qualifying time for it. I ran a 5:05 in the mile coming up to it. Okay. So I qualified for the middle school girls mile and my mom went up there with me. It was really, really cool. Like it was my first, like apart from like the state, it was my first like real track event. And I kind of like, it was an awesome experience. So I went up there and it was funny because I was down in like Hayward Field getting ready for the race. And I was just like talking to the girls and everyone came with a team. Everyone's like sole focus was running. And at that point, my number one was still basketball. So I was just like, oh yeah, like I'm just, just doing this. So I did feel a little bit like out of place when I was there just because I was like doing the whole warm up. Like my mom couldn't obviously go down like for any of that with me. But it was awesome. Just competing also against like the people who I saw that were like, oh my gosh, like,
Really interesting because like you find that some of the most talented runners that I know have an outlet. Like Sean Freeze swims, Maddie Gullickson skis, Ellie Barrett plays soccer, and you have basketball. So how do you view like having that second sport, that second outlet, at least at that point in your time?
For sure. I think it was awesome for me. I think I really got my mind set in like both things. And I feel like at that point, it really put the pressure off of running. Like, obviously I knew like I had some good times, but I really, really enjoy playing basketball. So it was always just something I just liked doing and just like could go from one to the next. And it was like also like just two completely different things, like a team sport, kind of like a little bit more of an individual sport.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. But for you, it's like, it seems like you didn't feel a lot of pressure coming into NON that year because it was just like, I'm doing this for fun.
For sure.
And like, it's funny because a lot of the people that I talk to, it's like, I always kind of go into it thinking they're like freaked out as like eighth graders, but like y'all tend to not be. And that's really interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think that as I get older, I think a really big thing for me is just know that I'm not defined by my athletic performance whatsoever, that there's something, you're rooted in something greater. I have like really strong faith that kind of drives me. through a lot of it. So I think just like staying rooted in that and just knowing whatever the outcome, whatever happens, like happens. And, it doesn't define me whatsoever. But although I do want to like, put my heart out there and just, I really, really enjoy like running and all of that. So
it's coming from a place of like just loving the sport and like actually liking it instead of just, I want to, I have to do this to prove myself, and God defines you and not any outside performance.
For sure.
Which is awesome. So what was the transition like for you from middle school to high school?
I would say it was amazing. So not many people did middle school, cross country and track. It's a little bit more of a less, popular sport. But when I came into high school, I met I would say some of my best friends. A couple of them were like seniors. Some of them are like juniors and sophomores. And I feel like they really, really welcomed me as the team. And I didn't just build the friendship within running, but like friendship, outside of running.
What does it look like for you, I guess, to have friendships outside of, or both?
For sure. I think I feel like it's important, like for your running friendships, also just to I think also for like the team aspect, just to hang out like as a team. Obviously with my team, I'm really close with them outside. And I think it's cool that we're also all different grades. I feel like a lot of times there's like cliques in the older grades, but everyone's just, a big happy family, we all have like pasta parties and stuff. And then some of my friends outside of that don't really do running as much, but they still do track. So, it's like just a whole big, track family, I guess.
How do you intentionally cultivate those friendships?
I think it like automatically just clicked a little bit, but also just making sure you're consciously doing things outside of just your sport, like going out to dinners. That means, going on like rides, just doing anything just so you can connect like with other people. And really just like have, kind of have a life outside of your sport as well.
That's super important.
Yeah.
First 5K, what was that like?
So I went out, I remember like doing the first mile and I was like, oh, I went out really fast. And then I kind of just kept clicking down. And I really realized like what my body can do. And I remember coming through and seeing like the 17. So I finished and I was like, whoa, wow. Like that's moving. So it was fun.
So then something happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So after my first meet, I started kind of getting like this little pain in my foot. And I was like, shoot, it's probably nothing. Like, obviously I'm pretty naive. So, I mean, at that point I was. And like soon to find out after the next meet I ran, I had a stress fracture in my foot, which was not fun at all. And I think that was really a combination just due to I was playing basketball, I was playing AAU, I was playing with the high school team and doing the running. So just too much at once. But then I was really bummed out, definitely, once we first got that, especially I can go into this a little bit later, but like the first two doctors we went to said I was like out for completely like the whole season. So I wouldn't have been able to come back, which was definitely like devastating news. But I found out, like we went to a third doctor afterwards and he gave me like the green light to go like 6 weeks and then I could come back for sectional, state, regionals. And then NXN I found out later. So that was.
So when you found out, I guess we'll go back to like the first doctor, right? You found out you weren't going to be running for the rest of the season. So what was your gut response? And then second, like, what are some things that you kind of ran to? I guess.
Yeah.
The phrasing. Things that you kind of, I don't want to say hobbled to.
Yeah.
But went to.
For sure. I would say, honestly, my first response was like, absolutely not. I'm running. Like, it wasn't, I don't know why, but it never really clicked in my brain that I wasn't going to run. I was just like, I'm going to figure out a way to run. Like, I'm going to I really was determined, especially because I, put so much work into it over the summer and stuff. I think it was really, it also kind of ran to I knew that it was part of God's plan. And I knew that he was telling me to pump on the brakes a bit if I, hurt myself doing this. So I just had to kind of reevaluate everything.
So what did that reevaluation process look like for you?
Yeah, I kind of realized that I was kind of doing a lot too much, especially in that summer season. And it was also just a little bit of like underfueling, just unintentionally, just because I've never done all of those things at once. And then I kind of got that all like figured out, and then it was okay.
What did you kind of learn about yourself as a person when you were going through that period?
For sure. I learned that I'm a really like determined person, and I know I kind of have that, like, I don't let someone say no to me if I don't really want to hear it, you know? So throughout that whole, little off time, I cross train like crazy. Like I really got at the cross training, and I really knew that, I was like, I want to do this. I want to still finish out my season well. So, I just kind of learned that I can do, I don't know the word to phrase this, but like my mind is kind of more powerful than my body in ways. So I can, do what I want to achieve.
So then coming back, because it was sections was the first week you came back from.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're kind of in that, I call it the nerve cycle. What does it look like for you prepping for that race, and how did you kind of approach that first race back, considering it was number one, your first race, and number two, it's like sections, like you want to perform well to go to state for your first year?
100%. I think that race is very nerve-wracking for me, because obviously I knew, like, as a team, we wanted to get to state, and I knew that there could have been a small chance that if I didn't have, a good day or didn't come back the way I, wanted to come back, then it would have been really not great for a whole team if we couldn't qualify for state. But I also, in the back of my head, I knew that I was ready. I knew that I put in the work. I actually ran it in trainers. So I ran in trainers on a rainy day. I was slipping all over the place, but I ran in trainers because my doctor said that, like, it would just be better for my foot, because it wasn't fully healed at that point at all. Like, it was still very much broken. But I came back. It was a great race. I won. I came back. I think I ran an 18:03 in trainers. So it was definitely not like, at that point, it wasn't as fast as my first race. But again, it was like, I was really happy with it. I was so happy to be back running.
Yeah. I'm not calling 18:03 a small win, but it's like progressional. Like, if you were to say like, oh, I'm pissed off because I didn't run 17:47 again.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, yeah. What was like the emotions like?
So we won sectionals, and obviously we have a couple seniors on our team. So it was really cool, and seeing them just get, so excited about, like, we're going to state, it was always kind of something we had to like knock on wood on. It's like because obviously we were, supposed to go to state, but it was always like that small chance that some people had an off day. But it was really, really exciting, especially just being back with my whole team. Like, like when you get injured, you get FOMO. I was like swimming in the pool while they're doing like these crazy hard workouts, and I was just like, I wish I could be out there. But so I was definitely happy to be back.
Yeah. So what were your own individual and team expectations pre-state?
For state, I would say our team, we wanted to get we wanted to get top 3. Like, our reach goals for our team was like top 3 in the state. We ended up getting 5th, I think. And then me, I wanted a podium, obviously, like a podium, but I also wanted to, get top 3. And I knew that Lauren McCullough was in our race, and she is an incredible runner. So I knew she would kind of be out doing her own thing in the front. And then I was just battling it out with, everyone. And I think that was the first time I've ever like ran with people in a race. So it was so fun, because I'm normally always like out on my own. It was awesome, just with like Ella Anschutz and some other girls just battling out the whole time.
What's interesting about how did the race go, by the way?
Oh, good. I got 3rd. I was very close to getting 2nd. It was kind of like a kick at the end that got me, because our finish line's like on an uphill. So it's a fun finish, but it's also like the most hilly course that you will run on. Like, the hills are like crazy the whole time. But yeah, it was awesome running with just like some amazing girls.
Most of the pressure that you feel for big meets like at XR, is most of it internal and external, do you think?
I would say most of it's internal. For me, I felt a lot more pressure at state than I did at NXR. I I knew that there was so many girls in the race. And honestly, like going into it, I did not have any plan or like my mind didn't even cross like that I could have possibly made it to NXN, you know. My goal was like top 21.
20 as your goal?
That was my goal. So I remember on a walk with my dad, and I love my dad. He's great. But he was like, you know what? Just you got it. You can get to NXN. Like you just got to stick with the lead pack. And I was like, Dad, like I wish, like it's not that easy. But I fully came into that meet not having any expectations of that. Like it wasn't even really in a talk with my coach like before the meet, because we all rented like an Airbnb. It was like the funnest trip ever. But we were just talking about just trying to execute the race well, and like it didn't even really cross my mind, I guess.
So you just don't really put any expectations at all.
I mean, not I used to. So I'm more.
Yeah, how have you grown in that? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like more becoming, put a lot more not expectations on myself, but I feel like I used to like not like just reach for like not reach for the stars, I guess you could say. Like I especially just coming off from the injury, only having like 2 races on my belt, I was just like, you know, I don't even know. But then going into like NXN, I started just to kind of higher my, like I kind of realized like, oh, I can run pretty fast. I can run with these girls, you know.
How did you handle running NXR with the weather?
I was like laughing at it. I was like, you know what? Like this is going to be a really fun race. Like I was kind of, me and my team were just joking about it. We're just like, of course, like it's going to be snowy. It was like, I mean, you know, it was crazy snowy, like freezing. I want to say 6 degrees, crazy wind, like the worst weather conditions you can ask for. So I remember on the start line, I was just like, I was freezing. I never got warm. I remember I was wearing this giant jacket, and you know, you're supposed to be warm when you warm up, but I was like, everything was numb. I was like, I'm going to race, not great. Like I was like, obviously in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Like, let's go. Cause you know, I flip a switch where it's like, kind of like complete competitive mode, but on the outside I was just laughing. I was like, this is gonna be a fun race.
Yeah, awesome. So dramatic fashion, how did NXR go?
So we start off, the gun goes off twice, shoot, like, and I saw behind me the girl, so one of my teammates, you know, it's all icy, she slipped and she like rolled from the start, so we had a false start. So obviously like the nerves were like completely built up at that point, and then everyone had to walk back, and everyone was so mad because we were all just like, and then also kind of going back, but it was really cool, like the whole introducing thing, and we had like planes fly over, like it was awesome. But so then the second time we line up and I get out, and I realized I'm a bit more of a conservative runner. So the first mile, I don't remember it coming through, but my coach told me to stay with Ella Anschutz, the girl who beat me at state. I think we came out in the first mile in like either like 5:15s, 5:20th, like 5:20ish. And I want to say it was like in the top 25, top 30. So I was definitely not with the lead pack at all. Like I was behind. And then I just kept picking people off, just kept like attaching to that next group, just kept going. And I had no idea where I was like the entire race whatsoever until say 200 to go when my coach, not the guy coach, this other girl coach who I love so much. I adore her. She's like one of my favorite people ever. But she screamed like, Nationals is right there. Cause I was like behind. And then there was the 5th and 6th runner in front of me. And I was just like, what? Like, I didn't even realize, like, you know, so I kind of just, I had a crazy kick at the end. I passed one of the girls, and then I outleaned the other girl at the very end. And then I remember finishing and like crossing the finish line, and I was just like in awe. I was like, I don't even know what just happened. Like that was awesome. I remember finishing, and I remember my mom and my brother were there, and I kind of looked to them, and I was like, I don't know. I think I just got like an NXN spot, and like none of them like had no idea. Like, you know, it wasn't even something. And then I remember like tears were coming down my face. I was like crying. This is the only time I've ever cried like tears of joy ever. And I was just like so kind of like relieved and just super, super excited. And then I remember I didn't even know, like everyone, there was just kind of chaos going around because I knew I'd gotten a 6th or 7th spot because I didn't know if I outleaned the girl or not. I knew Maddie Gullickson was going with Wyzetta. So I wasn't sure, but until the guy came up to me, he was like, hey, can you get like a like an interview really quick. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. And he was like, how do you feel about going to Portland, Oregon? And that's what I kind of realized during the interview. If you watch the interview, my face just like dropped.
Wait, I gotta watch that back. Yeah.
It's so funny. But it was crazy. The emotions are definitely coming out. And then I remember one of my coaches, I just hugged her and she like kind of like picked me up and we were just, super, super happy. Yeah.
Wait, I gotta see this.
It's not like I just was like, and then
you like kind of nod, but it's like this smile, like,
oh yeah, exactly.
And then you're like,
I didn't like a shot, but I didn't know yet.
That's hilarious. So now that you have like 3 extra weeks to train, what did that kind of look like for you?
For sure. So firstly, I didn't, like, obviously you said I didn't expect it. Basketball was literally starting the day after. So I was like, okay, I got to make a decision there. Because obviously, like, I would have been on the varsity basketball team who actually just won state. Congrats to them. But I kind of had to make a decision on, like, do I want to play basketball and try to do both? Or do I just want to try to, like, focus in on, running nationals? And then I ended up deciding on, focusing in on running nationals. And then pretty sure my coaches, we took like a little tiny taper. Oh no, we took what did we do? We took a little taper at the end right before nationals, but we started to get into a lot more running and training and stuff.
Cool. What about mentally? Like, what did that look like?
For sure. Mentally, I felt a lot more confident with myself and with, my running and stuff. Cause previously I was never, I was never really like thought that I was, super fast. And then I kind of realized, oh, like I made it to nationals. Like this is something that's super, super cool. And I really I would say I felt a lot more confident in my abilities and myself. And I felt like, I had like a little bit of swagger,
Going to Portland, what was it like, the pre-race meet experience?
For sure. Oh my gosh. It was such a fun experience. I would say it was one of the top experiences that I've ever had. So it started off and, we got there and then they show us this like amazing hotel. And I was really lucky because I was there with Lauren McCalla, another girl from Wisconsin. And we and her got like super, super tight right away. Like kind of just instantly clicked. So I was really happy that I had like a little buddy. So we got there and I was like, this is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like the hotel was decked out. I don't know if you've like seen pictures of it, but like, it's awesome.
Thing with the thingy in the middle.
Yeah, it was so cool. And then I got there and it was just kind of crazy because I was seeing all these people that I was just like, not idolized, but just like looked up to, like by like, my like whole, like,
they're actually real people.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're real. Like they're here. And then Maggie did such an amazing job with it, with just everything. And then the pre-meet, we got like the day before a meet, we like got these lockers and we got all the swag and all the merch, and our jerseys and stuff, which was super cool. And it was kind of just all kind of sunk in and felt real at that moment. Just felt real.
That's insane. So pre-course run through, like how does that conditions? Yeah.
Yeah. So the pre-course run through, it was raining. It was actively raining. And I remember me and Lauren, we both didn't have coaches. My coaches weren't there at that point and she didn't have coaches there. So we were like, we're going to hop in with YZ's group. So we were like, hey, because all of them, we obviously raced NXR with them. So we were friendly with them. They were really, really nice. But we were like, all of these people have ran this course before. Like, let's try to get into their pre-meet shakeout so we can get all the lore on the meet. But so we did that. They were super sweet. They were trying to actively pump water out of the course because there were certain
people to surround yourself with. I can say that from experience. How did the next time go for you?
Yeah, it went amazing. Actually, I'll talk about so the night before we had this really great the guy who was like organizing us, I would say, like he was called like our like team manager or whatever, and he invited all the NXR individuals to come into his room. And he like said this whole like hype up speech. It was great. And then there's 2 other guys from Wisconsin. What's his name? Lucas Tanner and why am I forgetting his name?
Brady?
Yes, Brady Len. Yeah, great guys. But he kind of just talked to us and told all of us and was like, some of you guys are going to be future Olympians, like just hyped us up. So I was like, kind of come out of that. I was like, yeah, let's go. Like, I'm hyped. And then the morning of, we got there and it was super cool. And then the race executed, I would say, pretty well. I think there's definitely some takeaways that I could have, done better on, but I feel like that's every single race that you race. So, the start gun goes off and I remember just being like swallowed up completely because there's so many girls and I like go out a little bit more conservatively. So I was definitely in like the back half and then obviously like kind of how I roll, but just start picking people off throughout the second and third mile. And then I remember at the end, we have like, there's like 2 terraces.
The terraces.
Those are not fun at all. Cause at that point you're like dead. And then I just remember being such a cool atmosphere, like so many people, the course was amazing. The physical course itself wasn't great cause it felt like you were sinking in like every step cause there was so much water in the ground.
But it wasn't as bad as it was going. You thought there's no like puddles like.
No, it was not as bad. It was the day before. It was super sunny out. So I think that was also a reason. That was cool. But the atmosphere was amazing. And they did like the whole like call out, like where you run through and like the whole announcements, which was awesome. And then finished the race. I finished it like 17:55, 27th. Honestly, when I finished the race, I wasn't super happy with it because I'm like 27th, I was in like the 21st position a bit, and then I kind of just got passed a couple of times. So it was definitely something that I'm like, I wish I should have, like, because, if you get top 21, you get All American. But it's also something where it like pushes me just to do better like the next year and just a little, motivation.
Motivator. Plus, it's like, that's like your 3rd race ever.
Yeah.
You actually have run with people. You think about it. And if you think like these seniors, if you think about like Maddie, what is it? Because she runs with essentially her teammates.
Yeah.
For 4 years straight. And you're at this pretty sizable disadvantage.
Yeah.
With just your lack of experience and how young you are. You're just handling it incredibly well mentally so far, which is just
100%.
So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favorite memory from NXN that wasn't running related?
So we had like Lauren, and then there was an 8th grader who was, she's amazing. There's like Hannah Geinrich and then Peyton Van Diest. We were all really tight. And I would say like probably the best memory is like the night before the race, we were all in like one room and we were just talking. We were like blabbering away. Just like, so everyone was so nervous, but so excited. And I feel like I made some like really good memories. And that's definitely one that sticks out. Just kind of making friendships throughout, like nervousness and success, I guess.
Yeah. It's interesting because like, if you look at that group of people, that group of 5, it almost strikes me as similar to your high school team.
Oh, for sure.
You mentioned that both teams are like very diverse in terms of age.
Yeah.
I think coming into that with that knowledge of your high school, that experience with your high school team made it like better in a way because you're familiar with like talking to or yapping with people like different.
For sure.
Yeah. Were there some people that you either met or like got closer to that weren't out of this group of like the super like crazy people that you look up to that you mentioned earlier? For
sure. I remember I did my cool down run with Summer Wilson at NXN. That was
casually. Okay.
To me. She was like, she just broke the California like state record, but the national record ran like 15 something in like the 3 mile. So, and like it was this whole, it was like this whole thing. And she was like, hey, can I do like the cool down run with you? And I was like, oh yeah, of course. So it was really, cool. She was so sweet.
Awesome.
She was so nice. And I feel like it's awesome because like everyone who runs is just so nice. Like, I don't think I've met a mean person yet.
I think it's because I call it forced vulnerability.
Okay.
Because your best and worst moments are shown to everybody.
Yeah. You're right. For sure.
I think it makes like, you guys able to connect more.
For sure. Yeah. And everyone like goes through the same pain. Like,
yeah, it's just like painful and hard. What was like a big takeaway from your freshman year?
I would say a really big takeaway is like you're more capable than kind of what you think of. And I think that another thing is just like the power of like work ethic and grit like can get you if you work hard and you kind of get what you get out what you put into it. Like if you really love something and really like focus and try your best and like put a lot of work into something, it'll reward you. And also second thing is like trusting God's plan was a super big thing for me because it was like there's highs and lows of that season. At the beginning, I thought it was like over, but then, there's just something greater that he has in store and in plan for me that clearly showed there.
It's crazy because if you look at where you probably were mentally hearing, like, not being able to compete for the rest of the season, knowing what you know now, it's like, wow. I went from not knowing that I was able to compete this season to placing top 30 at NXN.
Yeah, for sure.
And I made so many friends and I had so many awesome experiences along the way. And it's like,
100%.
You can't, I've kind of struggled with this too. It's like, you can't, I should tell myself this, but you can't like look at your own situation and put a mental block on yourself.
100%.
Anyways,
sure.
So winter, coming into winter indoor stuff this season. First of all, like how did training go?
So I didn't do that much indoor because obviously I had to wait 6 weeks completely after NXN. Like I had 1 week of just doing nothing and then 5 weeks of like cross training just to make sure my foot was completely healed and like all good going into track season. Right. And then I kind of just eased back into it, I would say. I was definitely getting a lot of FOMO from all of the indoor meets. Because I saw, I was like, no, I could be running there, but I knew it was good for me, and I know that that's definitely going to be in the future, but just not at that moment did it make sense to put myself in all of these like meets and stuff when I wasn't fully ready, and then just kind of slowly building my mileage up, getting back into workouts and everything, so I could have a really good track season. I would say track season is definitely like the goal in mind.
Yeah. So what were you looking for your outdoor debut for your track season?
For sure. I think I was definitely more focused on the 2 mile. Like that's kind of more of my thing. And even now, like I've only raced a couple, like say 3 races. And the first race was, the mile. And then I had another mile. And in both of the miles, I didn't execute very well, correct? Like as well as I could have. Like I went out too slow one time, went out too fast another time. So there's definitely like a learning curve a bit to it, but I was really excited for track season just to get back into racing.
2 mile, you crush it. 10:30?
Oh yeah, thanks.
Like how does that kind of build confidence? Like we were talking about earlier, with like, you got that swagger, like not in a prideful way, but how does that make you push your own limits, I guess?
I mean, it's important because you see the output of all the training that you've done and just like all of the hard work that you've put into the like from the off season. And that race I was running like completely alone. So I think it's also just like a mental thing as well. It's just like you got to keep strong mentally. But yeah, it was a cool race. I remember, finishing it and knowing that I like had so many takeaways from it. Like I could have done better on like XYZ here or there. And knowing that I can just keep building off of it.
Yeah. Awesome. What else are you looking to do this season?
I want to break sub 10:20. That's one of my goals. I want to, hopefully like place very high at NON, and break 450 in the mile. I would say those are like my 2 reach goals.
What about some goals in like your personal life, and how does running help you get closer to those?
I think some goals are just like maintaining like really good, friendships with everybody, with all my friends, and just I think running, especially with my running friends, and just like staying happy and knowing that like there's like life outside of running and there's goals that you can have, getting close to some people outside of running, and just like not letting running dictate your life. And also I think is important just to like glorify God by, putting myself out there and just giving my best, but trying to not do it for my own benefit.
I feel like running's a good metaphor for walking with Christ as well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So on that vein, like what does glorifying God with running and athletics for you look like?
For me, it just looks like, firstly, just like letting anything happen, like be up to his will, just praying before everything, allowing him to really obviously dictate the actions, but also just trusting in his plan and trusting that anything that happens, it's for his will and it will end up definitely better than you can ever imagine it. I think it's important just to, he gave you this like amazing body, and don't like just spend it like on the couch or something, which is totally okay to do sometimes. But I think it's really cool to just do some really cool things with something that he's given you.
How do you maintain an accurate image of yourself that isn't too prideful and isn't too self-defeating in the context of running?
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think it's important just to stay humble. Like, I think, obviously with like some of the success that I've found, I don't like to be like very, open about it. Like, honestly, I think in our school, not many people know I'm a runner. Not many people know like at all. Like, I don't think any of my teachers really know any of that, which is totally fine. When you go into the races, you want to have a little bit of like you said, like a little bit of swagger, but just kind of, I don't know how to phrase this. Just enjoying it, I would say. Just enjoying every little moment of it. Also, I think it's really cool that, build a community with my runner friends, and a lot of them, we always like, pray before races, which is really cool as well.
That's super cool. You guys do that. It's like so inspiring to see that, like when people will post like, Rua.
Yes.
She did like a prayer circle at New Balance.
Oh, really?
Like 50 people. She posted her story, and I'm like, that's just so inspiring.
Oh, that's so cool.
What is a moment that was like a super tough moment for you, and how did you use your faith to help you get through that?
My little brother, he has, what does he have? He has like he has Crohn's, so he has to go through all of that. And I think that was definitely at a point was like a little bit scary, but just, I think it was really cool because my family we really just, I would say, gotten a little bit more close to Christ throughout that. Just the whole like thing. He's in remission now, so he's much better. But throughout the times in that, just staying, just believing and knowing that it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I love that, because the tendency for us is to just fear and let our thoughts just run and just
for sure
catastrophize when God's plan is always good.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting at this earlier, but like, how do you ensure that for you, running doesn't define you?
For sure. I think it's important to have other outlets that aren't just running, like having other things that you love doing. Like if that's, I love to cook and bake. Cooking and baking is one of like my favorite things. Just having like something that isn't just going to be like running's not consuming your life. Because I am a firm believer in like if you have running consuming your life, you're going to get burnt out at some point and you're not going to like it anymore. And that would not be like, that's not something you want. So just always just trying different things, doing new things, hanging out with friends. I have a little dog named Tucker. Love him. Like just doing everything that, so like running just doesn't completely, take over.
Exactly. So what are you looking to improve in your spiritual life?
I would say I'm looking to improve just my faith overall and just trying to become closer with God and with him throughout, everything. I think it's important. I would also just trying to be more like open about it. Like just, I think that's something that at least I struggle with a bit. Like just being open about it, not being ashamed whatsoever to say anything or do anything or, write a verse in your arm and, like that's what I would say. Yeah.
You have, Nora Hushagen?
I do not.
She won state for Minnesota.
Oh, cool.
And she writes Philippians 4:13 on her arm every time she runs.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Through Christ who strengthens me, which is super cool. So when it comes to, getting older in the high school scene and like climbing up the ranks, taking into account like all the things you've gone through so far, so early in your career, like how do you plan to use that to help become a leader both on the team and in just the Wisconsin running community?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think I would like to use that to become a leader, especially with the underclassmen coming in our team, next cross country season. I've had an amazing team atmosphere, but so far, but just creating kind of like a family within my high school team as well. In Wisconsin, I just want to be like, just like kind to everyone and being friendly and just, not just focusing solely on the running, but also the experience and the friendships that you can make.
How do you not let the pressure of achievement that we were talking about earlier, how do you not let that pressure overshadow your just love of running, and how do you plan to do that going forward?
For sure. I think it's important, like for me, just to know that, anything happens. And I do get nervous, but I think that nervous just like the adrenaline just fuels me. And I have such a competitive like nature, like kind of a flip, like a switch flips. And I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to compete and I'm going to do my like absolute best every day. And also just knowing that like all the training that you've done, it's all in your back pocket. It's like coins in the bank, Now it's time to kind of spend the coins in the bank.
In the barn.
For sure. My dad was like, you know what? I was like telling him how I was nervous. He was like, National, it's just like a party race. It's every other race, but like people cheering. So it's just like a party race. I was like, yeah, basically.
It's a party race. I love that. Anyways, so we're down to the last three that I always ask everybody. So first one, how do you take care of your mental health outside of running?
For sure. I would say a big thing, I kind of already touched on these, but like having, outlets outside of running and I have some truly amazing friends. One of them is like a really good pole vaulter. So she's great. And I think also, my faith is a really big part of myself. And just kind of knowing that running isn't the end all be all. And it's like running isn't, the biggest thing in the whole world. Like, of course, it's something that I love and I love doing, but just not completely focusing on it, I would say. Just, yeah.
Cool. What advice would you give runners just starting out?
I would say just stack up the days. Like you can do really great things if you believe that you can do them. So firstly, just believe in yourself. And if you keep coming back and you keep doing it over and over. And I think that's awesome about running because it's something where it's like you get out what you put into it. So just keep showing up and keep going and you will see results and outcomes that you will, dream to see if you just keep going back and putting 100% effort in.
Well, last one. It might be a tough one for you because you're a freshman. But when you leave for college, what legacy would you like to leave behind on the Wisconsin and national running community?
For sure. I want to leave a legacy behind that, that obviously placed high in those meets and that like, oh yeah, she was a great runner, but at the same time, she was a really fun and, a fun, kind person who wasn't like just some, like suck up. Like, I don't want to be the person who's like super over, like in their own, accomplishments and stuff. I want to have fun with it. And I want to hopefully be like a role model, like someone that little kids look up to and is like, oh, maybe I should try running,
Awesome. Karstin, hey. Crush it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
It'll be cool to like see like your impact on Wisconsin. Dude, that was seriously super cool to listen to. I really liked hearing Karstin's story and just the wisdom and perspective that she has at such a young age, both in her faith journey as well as her running career so far. And the way she prioritizes building those authentic relationships on her team and being such a leader at that age is super inspiring. Since we recorded, Karstin broke 4:50 in the mile, running 4:44 to place second at state, and running 10:24 to win state in the 2-mile. Now she's off to nationals, and I have no doubt that she will grow from that experience as well. I'm Nate Unger, and this was Karstin McCabe on The Hidden Race. Now, go be the best version of yourself.